Welcome back into the Sean podcast. Is I the Big Ush? Yes, you can see me in all my glory. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. This beautiful son of a sucker right beside me is that Cat Daddy. Cat Daddy, what's on your mind?
Another good week of football, and we are inching closer to the playoffs, which is really exciting. Yeah, that's what I got right now. It's really exciting. This playoff race is looking good for both conferences.
Yes, they are. Playoff race looking almost as good as we do.
Almost.
Almost. You know. All right. Best looking tandem on the internet. That's all I got to say. All right. We're just going to jump into it. So, first game, Thursday night, juggernaut matchup. We have the Kansas City Chiefs traveling to LA, face those Los Angeles Chargers. The line is 3 in favor of the Chiefs. Who you got?
I got Kansas City winning this one, and not because of their offense necessarily, but because of how well their defense is playing, and it's looking dangerous.
I actually think this is going to be a defensive battle. I'm wondering if this might be low scoring. I'm going to go there. I think this could be a low scoring game, a low scoring defensive battle, which is not what anybody wants, but it could happen.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also going KC. The Chargers took the first one in Kansas City. I think Kansas City's looking for revenge. Next up, we have the Raiders traveling to Cleveland to face the Browns. Now, full disclosure, we don't even know if this game is going to happen. The Cleveland Browns have been just hit hard with a bunch of COVID cases. 8 players to be exact right now, and it could go up. A lot of these key players, 5 starters, 1 practice squad guy, and 1 guy on I think it's like 2 regular practice squad guy and a guy on IR. This could be interesting, but with all the, let's say, missing players, I'm not sure if the Browns will be able to hold up in this one. So I think I'm going to go Raiders, even though I would like to go Cleveland.
If things were trending in the same direction, and assuming things do not get better for Cleveland, they're expected to be without all 3 of their tight ends, both starting tackles, both starting guards, without Jarvis Landry, and that's just an offense alone. And while I haven't thought too highly of the Raiders this season, I think this is going to be a week where, if all of this continues, Cleveland may be pulling up people from their practice squad to fill in for offense, and their offense hasn't been doing very well to begin with. So I think this is one the Raiders can get away with.
The big question is I mean, you still got that possible defensive player of the year in this one.
Mm-hmm.
So, and don't worry, people. I know we changed the structure. We'll get to that. Next up, the Panthers travel to Buffalo to face those Bills. Hey, get right game. Bills are favored by 10.5. Give me that 10.5. Let's do it.
I don't know about the spread, but give me Buffalo. I think Buffalo's going to come out a little angry in this one. I mean, at this point, we're not even sure if Josh Allen's going to play, but we're assuming he is. He was in a walk.
I don't care if he plays or not.
Yeah. You think Mitch Trubisky's going to lead him to victory over Carolina's?
I think the Biscuit's going to get it. No,
right.
but I think Josh Allen plays, and I think he beats them.
Yep, I agree with that. Josh Allen has just been so much fun to watch, and it's going to continue here against Carolina.
So from one get-right game to another, Arizona Cardinals travel into Detroit.
Don't care what the spread is. Don't care. I'll take it.
13.5.
Okay.
But I'm taking Arizona also. I don't know about that spread, but I'm taking Arizona also. 13.5. Wow. All right. Not much to say on that one. Next up, we got the Jets traveling to Miami to face those Dolphins. Guess what? Miami's won 5 in a row, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be 6. Gonna be.
Ain't that the truth? It's gonna be 6. Yeah, Jets are getting Michael Carter back. Won't help. Well, I mean, it'll change things a little bit. Like 8.5, maybe it'll help that 8.5 by a half. So next up, we got Washington traveling to Philly. And I warn both of these teams because you heard what Washington was doing the other week, right? They won their game, and next thing you know, all the fans are like, we want Dallas. We want Dallas. I warned both of these teams because Washington's got Dallas next, and Philly's got Dallas at the end of the year. Whoever, don't start looking ahead. You still got to face each other. Washington's got 4 division games in a row. Woo! Bruh.
So who you got in this one?
I'm going to take the Eagles.
Washington,
I'm not sure about the QB situation. Antonio Gibson may be in the doghouse. I like Washington's defense more, but again, QB situation's where it is, and I'm not sure about that.
Yep, give me Philly.
Also, we don't know about Terry McLaurin and his concussion situation. Next up, we have the Tennessee. Oh, Jesus, I don't want to mess with this game. With the Tennessee Titans traveling to Pittsburgh to face the Pittsburgh Steelers. Tennessee's favored by 1.5. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm taking the Steelers. I don't believe in Tennessee right now. I really don't.
Nope, give me Pittsburgh.
And it's at Heinz Field. Shoot, you need a running game to play at Heinz Field. All right, next up, we got Sean's favorite game of the week.
It wasn't my favorite game week 1. It's still not my favorite game now.
We have the Houston Texans going against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacksonville is favored by 3.5. They shouldn't be. Houston wins this outright.
Yep. Jacksonville is sleepwalking. Houston's going to win.
All right. Major game coming up. We have the Cincinnati Bengals traveling to Denver to face the Broncos. Broncos are favored by 1.5, which means there's no spread. I'm taking Denver.
Cincinnati. I will take Cincinnati.
We'll see how it goes. Since he's based on that passing game, and Denver's pretty good stopping it. We'll see how it goes. Next up, we have the Atlanta Falcons traveling to Santa Clara to face those 49ers. 49ers are favored by 9. I'm not doing the spread, but the Niners will win this game.
I'll take San Fran, but not the spread.
The Seattle Seahawks are traveling to LA, Inglewood, to face those Rams. Taking the Rams. Seattle did get a win last week, but I mean, look who they played.
Yeah, Rashad Penny showed he was a first-round draft pick, plus now for 137
he meets Aaron
touchdowns.
Donald.
But that was against Houston, so give me the Rams.
All right, we got Green Bay traveling to Baltimore. Face those Ravens. Green Bay's favored by 4.5. I think Baltimore played tough. Apparently Lamar is going to play in this game. I'm still taking Green Bay to win this.
Yep. Lamar Jackson looks to have avoided a high ankle sprain that may have forced him to miss time, so he's still dealing with an ankle sprain. That's got to limit his mobility. If they're going to rely on the passing game in Lamar, I just like Green Bay even more.
So we got the Saints traveling down to Raymond James Stadium. Face those Bucks. Bucks are favored by 11. The Saints play every team tough. I'm not taking that spread, but I am taking Tampa.
I agree with you there. New Orleans still has a pretty good defense. They beat Tampa early in the year.
And they do have Sean McVay Not Sean McVay. Sean Payton. Sorry. Sean Payton. Sean Payton will figure out how to get this offense to move the ball at least a little bit against this team, but that defense will be overwhelming.
Agreed.
So we got the Vikings traveling to Chicago to face those Bears. Minnesota's favored by 3.5. Give me that all day long. I'm going to smash it. Vikings win this game.
Yeah, seeing what they did to Pittsburgh, if they put that together for a full 4 quarters, Chicago stands no chance.
All right, so that's the games this week. Now we're going to jump
into... you missed 2.
Oh, did I?
You missed 2, yeah. You missed the Indianapolis-New England game.
Oh, sorry. My bad. I missed the Saturday games. I jumped right past them.
And then you missed the Dallas game.
My brain is off today. I apologize, people. I missed 3 games.
Well, you missed 2. You got the first Saturday game. We talked about Cleveland, Las Vegas, because we're not even sure if that one's going to happen. So you got that one.
Game of the week. I missed the game of the week. People think it's Chiefs Chargers. I think it's the Patriots going to Indianapolis. It's going to be probably the game of the week. Indy's favored by 2.5. I'm actually taking the Patriots in this game.
Man, you gotta stop stealing my picks. I'm going Patriots too. Bill Belichick's got that Patriot machine rolling.
Next up, Dallas and New York Giants. Maybe I'll save this for last. Maybe that's it. Dallas is favored by 10.5. I'll be honest with you. Not sure on the spread. I mean, Giants have been playing teams tough, but I wouldn't be surprised if Dallas covers the spread. The Dallas defense has been nasty lately. I don't see the Giants winning this game. I just don't see it. I'm sorry.
Even if the Giants find a way to cover the spread, they're not going to beat Dallas straight up. No.
All right, that's all the games, people. I apologize. I'm off my game this week. Sean has to keep me right, so, that's how it goes. So now we're going to get into our picks of the week. And, John, anything changing with your offensive player of the week?
Player of the year? No, I still got the same 3, same order. Jonathan Taylor still set at number 1. No penalty for a bye week. No movement there. Cooper Kupp continues his incredible season. He's now up to 113 receptions, nearly 1,500 yards, 12 touchdowns. And then I still have Austin Eckler, number 3, with over 1,200 scrimmage yards and 16 touchdowns in the season.
Mine are also the same. I've got Jonathan Taylor, Cooper Kupp, and then Tom Brady. Because, Tom Brady doing Tom Brady things. Anything changed with Defensive Player of the Year?
I still have the same 3. It's slightly different order. I have Myles Garrett jump up to number 1. It's not really a jump. He was sitting at number 2 before. He had a good game, highlighted by the strip sack, fumble recovery, touchdown, pandemonium play. And then I have TJ Watt down to number 2. Injuries. It's injuries, man. Who knows how much he's going to play down the stretch. He's on shaky ground, but he's still number 2 based on his productivity thus far. Because when you think about it, TJ Watt leads the league in sacks with 16. He's ahead of Myles Garrett by 1. TJ Watt has only played in 11 games, and I think at least 2 of those games he left early. So he's doing all of this damage in 9 games, 10 games. So that's still looking good. But if he wants to stay in my top 3, he's got to stay healthy. So shaky ground. My number 3 guy remains Nick Bosa, who's continuing a great season.
All right, so mine has changed. Has changed quite a bit. Number 1 does not change at all. Number 2 has changed. And I'm going to say the same thing I said last week that's now apparently trendy in the national media. I guess the sports media had to catch up to me. But Micah Parsons, what he did and what he has done, especially since week 6, I forget which week, but it's It's like there's a particular week where he just turned it on. Like he's been playing great all season, but in particular, like I forget which week it was, but he's been leading the league in forced fumbles. He's in the top 5, top 3 of pressures, sacks, everything. Like the dude has been insane and on a tear, and it's nuts. And I'm putting him at number 2. Myles Garrett stays up there because he I mean the dude is impacting the game on the high level. TJ Watt would stay in my list, but he didn't really do much in the game. And availability, my guy, availability. The quiet season of Nick Bosa is jumping up into my list because Nick Bosa is just quietly just being awesome. All right, offensive rookie of the year. Anybody changing here?
No changes. I have the same order. Jamar Chase is number 1. He had a couple of drops this week. He also came through with 2 touchdowns. 5 receptions, 77 yards. It was one of his best games in a while, so that was good to see. Man, I want to see some more consistency with that. So he's not as solid number 1 as I want him to be for this. Number 2,
someone else.
Number 2, Jalen Waddle, who is quickly approaching the reception record for a rookie, and who I'm hoping is going to beat it before week 18. That way there is no controversy about, well, he only got the record because they have an extra game this season.
Right.
I fully expect, and I want Waddle to get the receptions before week 18. And number 3 is Mac Jones. Clearly the best looking quarterback of the bunch. And he was the
much right now.
I know he was the 5th one taken, and the rest of them,
he only passed for 3 passes in this last game.
He did. That's all they needed him to do. Bill Belichick didn't have him go out there and throw 40 times.
That being said, mine are exactly the same as yours. Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle. Even though I'm gonna say, who was on the Jalen Waddle tip first, me or you?
That was you.
Exactly. And then Mac Jones, which I'll give you credit for. You jumped on Mac Jones before I did. Sorry, Najee.
Yeah. I mean, Najee had a good week, but it wasn't good enough to jump into the top 3.
Defensive rookie of the year. Anything changed?
There was a change. I have Micah Parsons number 1. And it doesn't matter who's 2 and 3 right now. It doesn't matter. So.
Ain't that the dang truth?
Micah Parsons. We should be skipping this section because it's clear it's going to Micah Parsons.
Micah Parsons. I mean, Sean's not even giving me grief for putting him number 2 as defensive player of the year.
No, he's sitting at number 4 for me. I mean, TJ Watt's out for one more game, and anything like that, Parsons is getting into my top 3.
Imagine if he was rushing the passer full time, though.
That'd be dangerous.
He's doing this. He's a 72 percentile is when when they have him rush the passer. That's what he's doing all this. That's nuts.
It is.
All right, moving on. We're adding some new ones into the list this week. MVP. Who you got, Sean?
My top 3 is going to start with Aaron Rodgers, Green Bay Packers. This is not a homer pick. Aaron Rodgers is simply doing more with less. Like I said in our previous segment, go ahead and name me one of Green Bay's starting offensive linemen from this past week. And also name a team other than Green Bay they would be starting on, let alone all 5 of them. He's playing with an offensive line that's just patchwork together, and they keep getting injured, and he keeps doing more. So he's number 1. Number 2 is Tom Brady, because
it's Tom Brady.
Man, he is still looking good. Age 44.
He's got the opposite of Aaron Rodgers. He's got the most ridiculous
He's got
offensive
everything.
line and the most ridiculous weapons in the NFL.
I know. And that's why Aaron Rodgers ahead, because he's doing a lot more. But off of that, number 3 for me is Josh Allen. Because he means so much to that Buffalo team, and he's doing everything he can to make sure that they're staying in the ball game, remaining competitive. They've lost the last 2 games, but it wasn't like it was Josh Allen's fault. So even with those losses, I still have Josh Allen really high on my MVP list.
So my ones, I had Aaron Rodgers number 1, because Aaron Rodgers is doing Rodgers things, and I mean he's having the magic season for Rodgers this year. Then I've got Tom Brady, because Tom Brady's having a heck of a season, but again, look at what he has around him. But my number 3, call me a homer if you want, Dak Prescott.
They're going Micah Parsons. Oh man,
we saw what the Dallas Cowboys look like without Dak Prescott. Say what you want to say, believe he's struggling, whatever. He is keeping them in games. He, even doing the most minimal stuff that Dak Prescott does, is keeping them from having the rails fall off. So yes, Dak is my number 3 for MVP. Obviously, he's not going to win it.
No, and that's the thing I was going to mention. Like, that number 3 pick doesn't even matter anymore, because there's really a race between Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady at this point.
All right, add some more in here. Comeback player of the year, Sean. Who you got?
All right, my number 1 is Joe Burrow right now.
Really?
Yeah. I like.
Agree with you. This is going to be fun.
I know it's going to be fun. It'll continue to be fun, because I fully expect you to have Dak Prescott up there as number 1. He's my number 2 for comeback player of the year. He's number 2. Number 3, it was so tempting to include Tim Tebow, but I have Nick Bosa as number 3.
All right, so my number 1 is Dak Prescott. I just think Dak Prescott's doing a lot more for his team than Joe Burrow is. Joe Burrow's doing a lot, but I mean, Joe Burrow has had more of those yikes moments, and I know he's still a young player. Dak is, this, that. I just think Dak means more to his team, and him coming back from the injury that Dak had. Personally, I think the injury that Dak had was worse than Joe Burrow's, to be honest. Yes, Joe Burrow had a bad injury, but it's an injury that a lot of players have and a lot of players come back from. Dak's foot was pointing the wrong direction, and he came back from it, and he's playing at a high level. And yes, number 3 is Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa's just penciled in as number 3, but he ain't winning.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, that's like he's not going to win. It's just not looking good.
All right, last one, Coach of the Year.
We still have hot seat to go over, but
no, but last one for awards.
Oh, for awards, okay. Coach of the Year, number 1 for me is Bill Belichick, with what he's done with this roster. Considering a rookie quarterback, he had a lot of people coming back from injury, or not.
He won a game where his quarterback threw 3 passes. You're done. And he's
yeah. So Belichick's number 1 for me. Matt LaFleur is number 2, and it's almost similar.
Homer.
It's almost similar to the argument I have for Aaron Rodgers and MVP, how he's doing so much with more. Green Bay's been hit with a lot of injuries this year, and they've continued to overcome them. They haven't played with Darius Smith since week 1. They haven't had Jair Alexander for.
It's because you have coordinator of the year. I'll give you that. I'll give you coordinator of the year.
But I think Matt LaFleur has done a really good job of, and as much as I've criticized him in the past, he's done a really good job of coaching the team this year and making sure they stay competitive no matter what obstacles they're facing or what they need to overcome. And number 3 for me, go ahead.
I'll say this. Matt LaFleur's not on my list. And he's not on my list because, 1, he has Aaron Rodgers. 2, they were really good last year. I'm sorry. Like, I mean, this is par for the course here. Because what? Oh, C number one. Go ahead. Who's your number?
Number 3, Cliff Kingsbury. What he's done in Arizona this year. He's led Kyler Murray to that level of maturation that you wanted to see. You want to see Kyler Murray step up.
Kyler Murray.
He's done it exactly, and then he won 2 out of 3 games with Colt McCoy as a starting quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I see you, Cliff Kingsbury. You're up there.
All right, my number 1, Bill Belichick, showing he's the greatest head coach of all time. Basically, had a down year because he had an idiot for a quarterback. Yes, I said it out loud. Next up, I'm going to have Cliff Kingsbury. Cliff Kingsbury, take your bow, my guy. You have done something no one thought you were going to do. You've turned the Cardinals, who were a car accident. They were not a car accident. They were a train wreck, into a competitive squad. They have a chance. They look like a Super Bowl contender, even against the Rams when they weren't playing well. They had a chance to win that game. So Cliff Kingsbury, I guess college football is harder than the pros for you. And then my number 3 guy, yeah, I'm gonna say it. Call me a homer. Mike McCarthy. He's not going to win it. But look what Mike McCarthy has done. Last year, without the quarterback, the Cowboys team was a complete car wreck. They had coordinator issues. Mike McCarthy made the appropriate changes. They have had how many injuries? They had how many players get hit with COVID at a certain time, and they're still leading the division, and they're 9-4. With a chance to possibly even have the 1 seed if it turns out to that. I think Mike McCarthy has done a fantastic job with this team. There's more work to be done. But yes, I do think Mike McCarthy has done a really good job. Again, those other guys, those other 2 are like up here. And then everyone else is further down, in my opinion. Matt LaFleur is up there. It's just, he's got Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I'm sorry. It's just like Bruce Arians. I'm not putting you in this list, dog. You got Tom Brady and just an embarrassment of riches. The only other guy I was really thinking of putting in here is John Harbaugh. What the Ravens have gone through this year. Think about the injuries that they've had. And they're still in line, and they're in the lead of the division, in line for the playoffs. That's a heck of a job.
They have Lamar Jackson, former MVP. You can make the Aaron Rodgers argument for that. You're not putting Matt LaFleur on that list because they have Aaron Rodgers, regardless of everything else that's gone horribly wrong around them.
But I think Baltimore has lost way more than the Packers have lost this year.
Well,
way more.
Through all the injuries, Baltimore Ravens still have their number 1 running back, right?
No, they don't.
Yes, they do. It's Lamar Jackson. It's Lamar. He's their number 1.
But they haven't had him. They haven't had him at times, and they've still won. He has gone out in games, and Tyler Huntley has led them to victory at least once. Did I say he's on my top 3? Did I put him on my top 3? Did I put him on my top 3? No,
he's close.
Yes. And not to mention, this is the respect I give Aaron Rodgers. Lamar Jackson is not Aaron Rodgers.
Agreed.
Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion, is the best quarterback in the league.
You're not going to hear me
over
disagree
Tom Brady.
With you.
What?
You're not going to hear me disagree with you.
And so there's a clear gap between Aaron Rodgers and Lamar Jackson, especially as a passer. Yes, Lamar Jackson's athletic; he can do that, but as a passer, not even close.
No,
don't try to argue me Aaron Rodgers versus Lamar Jackson over here, my guy.
But you're not putting Matt LaFleur in your top 3, and your argument is because he has Aaron Rodgers, and that's the expectation.
And I said John Harbaugh is not in my top 3 either.
Right, but it
I
almost
said
sounded
Matt
like
LaFleur was up there.
it sounded
You
like
didn't
you
hear
had
me when I said Matt
Harbaugh
LaFleur was up there?
above LaFleur.
You didn't hear me say when I said Matt LaFleur was up there?
Who's higher, LaFleur or Harbaugh?
Harbaugh. Barely. But
Man,
yes.
Get out of here. We'll continue this next week. Moving on.
All right. Moving on. Something that we will agree on. Coaching hot seats.
All right. Number 1 for me this week is Urban Meyer because of the gross mismanagement that he's done with this roster, which is highlighted on offense by James Robinson. Whether it's giving him only 6 touches in a game where he deserves 15 to 20, or playing him in a game when he's injured and the game's out of hand already and you have no chance of winning, but you're still running him, or not playing him when you should be. And then you have Andre Cisco, who Urban Meyer.
I gave you that story.
Well, I was finding that anyways. Andre Cisco, Urban Meyer said, yeah, he's playing more, and he played a big whopping 0 snaps. So it shows how oblivious he is to his roster, or he just doesn't care. So Urban Meyer's number 1. Number 2 for me is also Urban Meyer because of the reported dissension between Meyer and his players,
number 2.
staff, his faculty, everything involved. Urban Meyer is number 2. And Urban Meyer is also number 3 for me because he is ruining the development of Trevor Lawrence.
Who's your real number 2 and number 3? Come on now.
It's Urban Meyer. It's all Urban Meyer this week because he deserves it. That team is literally the walking dead out there. They need to fire him. They need to eat the dead money. There's too much risk.
Yes, they do. I don't disagree with you, but who are the other 2 coaches that you believe?
All right. The next one is Meyer, Urban.
All right. I'm going to give mine.
All right, for real. My number 2 is going to be Matt Nagy.
All right.
Because
we've talked about it already. We've talked about it at length.
Yep, and number 3 for me is David Culling.
All right, so mine are similar to yours. It's Urban Meyer. And Urban Meyer needed to be gone yesterday. Actually, Urban Meyer needed to be gone like 6 weeks ago.
You need to be gone when that video.
And anybody watches the pod, I've been trying hard for Urban Meyer. But
give up.
The smoke and fire's too much. The Andre see the James Robinson one alone wasn't enough for me. But when you have the Andre Cisco one, which is worse, it's worse. Because James Robinson one, I can see that in game.
3 instances.
Hey. In game, I can see things happening. But the fact that you didn't know that a player who hadn't played didn't play, and you was like, I think he played more. How the heck do you know that someone didn't play at all? How do you not know that? Then too, there's the whole fact that there are issues, legit issues between him and other people. Bruh, you need to treat people like people. So yeah. But next up is David Culling. And the only reason why it's David Culling is because reality is reality. He's not who, honestly, David Culling would probably be 5th on my list if I didn't know he was already out of there. But we know he's gone. We know we said he was temporary before the season started, didn't we?
Sure did.
We said this is a placeholder for the next guy. And unfortunately, he's going to be gone, unfortunately. Even though I think he's trying. It's not like Urban. He seems to know what's going on. And then number 3, you know who number 3 is. This guy's been on my list all year long. And you know why. Matt Nagy. My guy. Can you take a bow? Can you just take a bow? Do it with grace. dignity. Just take a bow. You ain't coming back. You know you ain't coming back. Stop that.
Mm-hmm.
You can beg Andy for your job back because Eric Bieniemy is going to get a job. That's all I'm saying.
It'd be funny if the Bears replace him with another Kansas City offensive coordinator.
This is true. All right. Now, top teams. No, actually, let's do bottom teams first. Who are your bottom teams?
If you listened at all in the last 5 minutes, you'll have no surprise knowing that the Jacksonville Jaguars are my bottom team. And they are followed closely by the Houston Texans, which makes me really not look forward to this game. No matter who wins this game, I'm pretty sure it's not going to change the order of these
toilet
bottom
bowl!
two. It really is. And moving up to number 3 is the Detroit Lions. So, they're just very fortunate that the Houston and Jacksonville franchises are currently train wrecks, which gets them up to number 3. It's not because they did anything good. It's because the other ones are just so
At the same time,
bad.
we're not talking about Dan Campbell like we're talking about those other coaches.
No.
All right, now mine are very similar. I've got Jacksonville, Houston, and Detroit. So the exact same. All right, your top team, Sean.
Number 1 still, Green Bay Packers. They continue to look good, and I cannot wait until their defense has more of their players back. I can't wait. It's going to make them better. Number
Like what
2.
happened with the Cowboys this week, where all their defensive players looked like they were back, and they destroyed the Washington football team.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to some destroying it. And the Packers offensive line, they really need David Bakhtiari back, so I'm hoping he returns in the next week or two.
Are you looking forward to that Cowboys Green Bay game that's going to end like 13-10?
I am. I just want to make sure that both teams are fully healthy, because it's gonna really suck if we go into that game and one of the teams is not fully healthy.
Players are missing because of COVID.
Oh man. Yeah.
Your number 2 team?
New England Patriots. Before I had the Arizona Cardinals up there, but the Arizona Cardinals fell down to number 4 for me with that loss to the Rams. Not that they were looking bad, but Kyler Murray's a little rusty. He needs to get that rust shaken off. He's got to do it with the Detroit Lions on the schedule
who
next.
was rusty? DeAndre Hopkins.
Rusty and injured, so they need to oil him up and get him back out there. And number 3 for me is... Wait, did I get my number 2 team, or did I skip over? I think I skipped over.
You just said the New
England Patriots. All right. And then number 3 for me is going to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Their roster is loaded.
Loaded.
All
right. My 3 teams are the same, only different order, except for the top one. Green Bay's number 1. I mean, the story here is the Green Bay defense. That Green Bay defense is good. Next up, Tampa Bay. Again, roster's loaded. And then it's the New England Patriots. Most well-coached team in the league, let's be honest. Bill Belichick is still that guy. He's still that guy.
Yep. That's why he's number 1 in Coach of the Year for us right now.
All right. So, looks like that's all she wrote for this episode, people. That's all I got. Hopefully everybody's having a wonderful time. Hopefully your teams are winning. If your team's not winning, you know something, draft season's right around the corner.